So I already realized I made several big mistakes. First big mistake. The culture I bought for the algae is not a culture. That is dead cells designed for feeding directly to rotifers and other small things, but not what I'm looking for. That for me is a pretty big sad fact, not only because then I can't breed my own algae yet, but also because now I need to really be a lot more careful about fouling the baby tank. And then, in addition to all of that, I also wasted most, or well, not most, but half of the culture, thinking that it was living, and put it into all these bottles. Wasted the salt water as well, thinking that it was a living culture, but it's actually just dead feed. The reason I couldn't find the living culture on the website, it turns out, is because the industry standard now is to feed the dead feed, not the living culture. And I'd have to order the algae from a separate supplier that I got the rotifers from.
The video from this point forward will be the footage of all the different mistakes I make and all my understanding of what's going on at that point while I'm making the mistake. Please note that everything that I say from this point forward in the video is false.
Guys, I can't lie to you. This stuff stinks. Like, it's nasty. It's nasty. It stinks. But okay, here we go. Eek. Like, it smells like a baby's diaper. Okay, lots of bad news at the end of my first day of breeding here. First of all, the Thalassiosira stinks. It stinks like sewage. So I've got to keep everything covered as tight as I can. Second thing is, I was totally underestimating how dense the populations they sent me were. And if you look at that right there in that tank where I actually have the bubbler reaching the bottom so that they're fully getting distributed, that's a fully concentrated solution there. So there's no way I'm getting them any denser than that. So I already need to split them out into essentially a 5-gallon jug immediately, which would stink. So that's the free-floating diatoms, which a lot of people consider a pest anyway, so I guess that's not surprising that they are available in abundance, and the rotifers are probably the more expensive, more difficult thing to manage. Yeah. The other sad piece of news is my beautiful piece of equipment here leaks, which is no surprise, to be honest with you. But it is annoying because as soon as I'm dripping that gunky stuff into anywhere, I do not want it dripping all over my table. That's going to be gross. Right now it's just dripping salt water, so that's okay. Into the rotifers, who, yeah, you can see are slowly getting water, so that's good. So that's the end of the first day. It stinks in here. I am really hoping it will stop stinking before anybody else comes down here. We'll see. All right. Catch you later. Okay. So end of the first day. The dripper is working, but it needs to be sealed. It's kind of tricky balancing all of these on one bubbler, which is that guy. But it's okay. I need way more space for the amount of diatoms I have access to. But I don't really want to put a bubbler outside. Mainly because I don't have an extra bubbler to put outside. So yeah, that's the state. Certainly less enthusiastic than I was this morning Or even when I open the box, I'm less enthusiastic just because I had no idea. I'm just overwhelmed with the amount of diatoms they sent me. And they smell. But the other piece of good news is that now that I have plastic wrap over all the diatoms, it does not smell so much in here. Either that or my nose has gotten used to it. But we'll find out soon enough when other people come down here.
I'm also realizing that the rotifers are the more sensitive and difficult thing to grow out of the two. And I should have invested more containers in the rotifers. But I thought at the time that the rotifers would infect my algae things, so that wouldn't be a problem. So that's a big series of mistakes on my first day. Now I need to decide if I'm just going to throw out these algae cultures that aren't algae cultures, or if I'm still going to feed them to the rotifers, because at this point they've been in the water for 6 hours. They're starting to rot. I am going to risk it, but man, what a series of mistakes.